Hello guys, I'm Steve. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If it's your first time stopping by the channel, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't regret it. If you're a returning subscriber, as always, guys, welcome back, and I do appreciate the support. Yesterday in Miami, Florida, shout out Miami, Southwest Miami-Dade to be exact. A woman, 43 years of age, lost her life at a Chase Bank ATM along with her 3-year-old son. Both of them pictured here at the behest of, at the hands of an ex-boyfriend who, after doing this to her, got in his car and subsequently took himself out too. We're starting to see a lot of this going around, guys, where people take somebody's life and then turn around and put the gun on themselves. It's just a whole different mindset when they're dealing with relationships nowadays. I'm going to play this video for you that gives you a lot of the details of what's going on. And I want you to see if you picked up on something in this story that we'll talk about when we come back. Take a look.
This murder-suicide happening here in the drive-through ATM lane of this Chase Bank behind me. A mother and her young son sitting in their car when all of a sudden they were ambushed by a gunman who later took his own life. Family members of that mother and son now mourning their lives, revealing that the gunman here was an ex who they say simply could not stay away. A proud mother posing with her young son. Newly released photos showing 43-year-old Odalis Bancroft and her 3-year-old son Theodore Kudo taken on Wednesday at his preschool graduation. Just 2 days later, both would be ambushed and killed.
Oh my God.
A passing driver capturing the moment a gunman opened fire on the mother and son's car as it was stopped at a Chase Bank drive-thru. The armed man is later seen getting back into his own car as witnesses look on in shock. Just seconds after the shooting, drivers waved down a Miami-Dade police cruiser.
They're shooting him. They're shooting over there.
Officers later surrounding the bank on Bird Road and Southwest 152nd Avenue, but by that time, both Bancroft and her son, along with the shooter, were already dead.
A minivan with the child was pulling up to a bank behind me. She was at the ATM line when an unknown subject pulled next to her in an SUV and opened fire, killing both the female and the child, and then killing himself.
Family members say Bancroft was divorced and was in the process of separating from an ex-boyfriend who she recently filed a restraining order against. Relatives say it's that same ex who ambushed the mother and son, taking the lives of this innocent young family. And you can see some balloons that have now been left to remember that mother and son here at the scene. This Chase Bank remains closed this morning, and it's still unclear as to when exactly it will reopen. In the meantime, the family members of that mother and son have set up a GoFundMe page to help them in this time of need. If you'd like to help them out, we have a link to that GoFundMe page on our own website. That's at local10.com.
All right, guys, that's the story of what happened to Miss Odalis Bancroft and her son, 3-year-old Theodore Kudo. May they rest in peace. You know, at any given time now, I can go up on YouTube or just search the media and find somebody doing something just like this. And you know what I'm talking about. A murder slash murdering somebody and taking their own life after that. It's usually dudes that do this type of stuff. If you guys don't see that we're having a shift in the way relationships are seen and the value of loved ones, and the onus heavily weighed into failure of relationship or just an issue of abandonment, I don't know where you've been. This is like at an all-time high now. At any given time, during any given day, somebody's doing this. It's amazing. Now, this happened early in the morning, supposedly. This guy, you know this was planned. This guy formulated this situation, went up there. She pulled in one thing, doing her normal duties as a mom and doing whatever she had to do. Here come this dude pulling up next to her, jumping out the car. You seen the video. leaning in the car, giving it to both her and her son, then getting back in the car next to him and doing the same thing to herself. Cowardly. You so angry and hurt. I have never been that torn apart where I want to hurt somebody that I think hurt me, that I usually claim, they love, and then take myself out when all I got to do in the beginning, if it's too much for me to bear, and I know my final destination is at that barrel, at the end of the barrel of my own gun, I might as well cut to the chase. Spare the other people the horror. Does that make sense or not? Seriously, you shot a baby who ain't even your kid over issues with the mom. We see this a lot too, and this needs addressing. Guys and a girl get into an argument, the children suffer just as well. And it don't matter if the kid is yours or not. From a standpoint of just how normal men think, if you had a bunch of men in a room and talked about what you would do if something happened, if you said I would do something to the girl and I'd do something to the kid, even though it ain't mine, I'd do something to it. How many of them men in there you think would agree, but you like, yeah, word up, you should do that. We'd be like, what? It's like a lot of grown ass children out here, a lot of men, boys in male bodies, grown male bodies, that they have missed something in their upbringing or just in life's lessons that they either refuse to pay attention to or miss the whole subject altogether. This is not what men do. This is not who we are. It's wild. You see this in all different races and cultures. You do. It's like a supreme act of selfish immaturity. What else did we see, guys? Same old song. She just got divorced, started dating a guy, didn't work out, wouldn't leave her alone. She had to get an order of protection because this dude, I guess he was threatening or whatever, and it still didn't work. It still didn't work. People put a lot of energy in plotting to hurt somebody else that don't want them and have a right to go their separate way, rather than putting the energy into making themselves a better person and more attractive for the next person. Or while different signs was being shown and flags was flown, showing the beginning and the end, instead of ignoring that and being supremely selfish in their own desire for somebody, they could have worked on themselves to make themselves more attractive and work on the problem. Because what? One of the things about a man is what? One of the traits about a good guy. Problem solving, protection. He didn't protect her, and he damn sure didn't solve the problem. And I'm sure she gave him a lot of chances. Looking at that woman right there, you can tell she's about business. And one of the things about dealing with a woman is you what, guys? And a lot of guys don't like this. You got to what? Communicate. A lot of you guys out there right now have lost women. And they're losing women right now because you refuse to open your fucking mouth and tell somebody how you really feel about them, about a situation, so on and so forth. And there's another thing. Sometimes somebody want to be heard. Y'all be wanting to silence these chicks. Just shut up and take it, even though their voice sound like a scratchy needle sometimes. Not all of y'all now. Sometimes you got to listen to advice and opinions outside of your own head. And a lot of dudes are big-headed. I used to be like that. So I'm no different than a lot of other people. That's why I talk about these things, these touchy subjects, vehemently and with emotion, because I've experienced some of these situations. Some of the feelings, some of these criminals that I had, that I talk about, I had feelings similar to those myself. They might have been brief and I didn't act on them. But in a way, sometimes you can understand the avenue somebody's coming from when they meet you, whether it's through a story or in real life. This was totally uncalled for. That's a cute little boy. You seen him dancing? Didn't have a care in the world. She made it to where she wanted to put him in the position to where if she was going to deal with somebody, he would be right for both her and the kid. And here's another thing too that a lot of people don't know. When guys, ladies want to get away from guys and so on and so forth. When I would date women, it didn't matter how much I cared about them or whatever. It's how much of an impression they would leave on my children. That makes sense? A lot of times out here, women would leave guys alone. They might be right for them on an adult level. And I want a lot of you ladies to hear me on this. They might be right for them on an adult level, but they're bad, poor example or role model for a child they have, especially if it's a male child. This might have been one of them situations. Hell, he already showed he ain't got no self-control. Why would you, if you don't want to be around him, why would you want your son to be around him? She might have seen that and be like, I can't have my kids picking up bad habits that this guy got. And that's one of the things I was saying. A lot of y'all out here like these guys. Oh, he this, he that. Don't just like them for you. You like them for your kids too. You start doing that, the world will be in a better place. There are some of these stray dogs that need to be left right on the side of the fucking highway, begging for scraps and yelping for somebody else to pick up the pieces of their shattered life that they did themselves. Don't be no fool out here, man. For real. That hurts my heart. That kid ain't him and all these other children I do. They not the enemy, but they're put on the front line by those that, want something, want the woman and make the child suffer. This is like one of the ultimate coward type moves, besides, him taking himself out. But that's, man, come on, man. You ain't even stand on that. I'm Stock Market Steve for the Dynamic Reason channel. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe. Stories like this are hard for me. And I can do a murder-suicide story every day if I want to, but it's just draining, especially when children are involved. I mean, really, what's going on in the world right now? We so selfish, especially as a man, where we supposed to really try to at least try, because you're never fully in control of your life. And doing stuff like this like the ultimate bitch move to me. I'm Stock Market Steve for the Dynamic Reason channel. I don't even know if I said that. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Take care, man. May these people rest in peace.